What's up, everybody? Justin Michael Parra here with Justin Michael Parra. I'm a Sam V ambassador here today to show you how to cut a pixie. Let's get right into it. First, I'm going to start and show you guys that when cutting a pixie, you have to understand the concept of long hair and short hair. And what really helps me is understanding that the longer hair is, the heavier it gets, right? And so after a certain length, it starts to fall. So when cutting a pixie, you want to make sure that you understand the length of your cutting on the sides and the back so that it isn't growing straight out or still really bushy. Now, density and texture has a lot to do with that as well, but just understanding your client's hair type and everything like that will greatly help. Today I'm going to be using the Sam V Streamline Series shear. I love this shear so much mainly because the thumb is moved up to a position to where it really helps me grip and hold and do the cuts a lot faster and easier. So obviously I have all this long hair. Let's get rid of it. We don't need it. So if you're cutting off a huge transformation and they've got really long hair, just get it off, okay? No need in fighting all of that length when we can get rid of it. So first things first, on the sides, it's really important to, again, understand the distance away from the head that you're going. So looking at Miss Manny Quinn here, she's got straight hair, probably medium to thick. So I don't want to go too short. Also, I know mannequins, obviously, because they're mannequins, they want to stick way out. So I'm not going to go super short on this. So a good rule of thumb is about an inch and a half to start. I like to say I can always cut more off, I can't put it back on. So start longer, work your way back. The way I'm going to position this is I'm going to come up underneath, use my middle finger back here to create distance. Then I'm going to keep a straight horizontal line and cut that off. Now, I want a full 90, so I'm not going to over direct this bottom hair up. I want it all to be pretty much the same length, so I'm going to cut everything around that same shape. I'm going to repeat this all the way around the head. And if it's easier for y'all, come up left hand if you're right-handed, vice versa if you're left-handed. And I'm going to come over the head, pinch with my index and middle finger, and push with my ring finger and make a 90-degree angle. But pixies are really textured, most of them, and so we like a little bit of texture in there. So after you do that, you can come in and do some point cutting to make that more jagged, but let's just focus on our length now. You can see I'm just blowing through this. I'm holding my shears outward and moving my thumb, which is another great thing about this. Straight line here, we want this blade to be our cutter and this to be our guide. You can see here I sectioned it going down to the occipital bone because I don't want to take too much length off of this area because I want to connect it to the top. We're going to need length in our back to round out the shape. So I'm going to angle my comb down so that I don't take too much off. You can already start to see this shape start to take form. I'm going to do the same thing on this opposite side. And then add a little bit of texture. Now I'm point cutting here. Angling down again. Creating that shape. In this front, cross check my work. Again, I want you to see my finger angle, because when I'm in the back here, I want to go short to long, right? We're going to go short down towards the hairline and get longer as we extend up the haircut, because we need more length to create that shape. And if you look at the head shape here, on most everybody, you've got right where your occipital bone is, it's going to go out, right? So all this long hair will eventually come to a point to get to the short hair. So instead of going straight up at a 90, we want to point it at a 45 so we can get that short to long look. When you do the short to long around the hairline, that gives the haircut longevity because it can extend that the life of that haircut. So now I'm on the back of the head. Have a look down, and as you can see, we've got this flow going down, right? Now again, Miss Manny Quinn has got some really thick hair, so we're just going to customize this cut to her density. Again, watch this 45. Okay, now we're gonna look down. We're gonna look at this hairline at the back. Point cut. Because in a pixie, I like to say the only thing that separates a pixie from a men's cut is one is masculine, one is feminine. What differentiates those two? Hard lines and soft lines. Make something look more feminine, we want to keep the hairline more soft. Masculine, we want to make it straight edges, right? So with pixies, you'll want to carve out the ear, leave the sideburn alone, same with the back. Now, again, I want to cross-check my work. It is only going to stick out further, right? So with this particular hair density for Miss Manny Quinn, you don't want to go any shorter than that. So I'm going to move on. Now we're going to move to the top. So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the sides, or the top to the sides and the back. I personally like to start behind the ear so that I can get this roundness. Again, still working with my Sambia Streamline Series shear and Sambia Artist Series comb. Comb this out, and you can see we went to the apex of the head and going back. Now, here's where we want to create the roundness in the back. We could do either disconnected if it's a disconnected pixie bob. Today we want to connect them. So first things first, I'm going to separate out a vertical section right in the middle of the head, vertical section of the head, and take our section and we're going to connect our dots at a 45-degree angle, okay? Now, why are we doing a 45-degree angle? Finger angle creates longer hair up top, shorter hair on the bottom, which will create our roundness, okay? But now I'm going to comb back to a 90 straight up because right there is going to create our roundness. And I just want to take this little bitty corner off right here. And that's going to create that nice bit of roundness right there. You can see that. So then we're going to travel on. We're going to take half of this section, move to our left a little bit. Again, we're going to repeat this all around the back of the head. Find our guide right there. 45-degree angle outward. And we're going to walk it up. Take off that last little corner. Perfect. Now we're going to, again, I'm going to rotate that all the way around. Take my last section here. Same thing. Take that guide. Boom. See that? Still keeping my 45. Perfect. And you can start to see that nice roundness in the back. Over here, I'm going to rotate into my last section, creating that 45. We really want that length over here. Walk it up. Now, this right here, we're going to come back to this when we connect the sides and work the side over here. Repeat the same process. Drop my 45. Walk it up. Nice tension on your section will make this so much easier. As you're going to see, we're getting that nice roundness over there. I'm going to do this last piece. I'm going to take his little friend up here that's chilling. I see my guy. I'm going to go out of the 45. Walk it out. All right. Now if you can see, it's starting to build its shape over here. We took a 45 right at her occipital bone, and then we walked it up to a 90, and we walked it up even more to cut off the corner. If we kept going up, it is going to create more layers and it's going to create more roundness, but it's going to end up being a way shorter than we're wanting it to go. So we just travel right there. Now we're going to move to the front. So we're messing with pixies. The length determines the look, right? You can have really, really short textured pixies, or you can create the pixie with the bangs, everything like that. My most popular, to be 100% honest with you, is the super, super simple wake up texture spray or texture powder and go. Here in Texas, it's really, really hot. So a lot of my ladies are just like, get it off. I don't want to deal with it and I don't want to spend too much time in the mirror anymore. Cool, all right, easy enough. So from here, I want to take a section from each side of the forehead back to the apex. Okay, well, I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit, see if I can. Corner to the apex. I'm gonna bend it down. Corner to the apex. Push it down. Get this out of the way. All right, so now we are messing with the sides. We're gonna leave the front for the last. So again, on these sides, we stopped right here. We're gonna connect the tops to the side one of two ways. We can either keep it at a horizontal cut right where we need to go, but that is going to create lots of weight. Horizontal lines create weight, right? So instead, for this particular pixie, I want to take it vertical because I want to layer it so that it has that roundness, right? We don't want a lot of weight coming on this pixie. So we're just going to connect the sides to the top with our imaginary wall. The imaginary wall is going to go all the way around the head. Okay. Now this front piece, I'm going to extend a little bit back just because I want to make sure I don't cut too much off. I'm going to over direct it a little bit further than its natural state, just in case I need that length, right? You can always cut more off, you can't put more back on, all right? And travel back, straight 90, right? Face her towards you guys. I'm gonna travel this all the way around the head. Vertical, 90, straight up. Good. Again, this front piece, I just want to go a little bit further away from the face, just for insurance, pretty much. Straight up and down. Perfect. So we've got our sides and our back here. We've got our nice rounded shape in the back coming on. Here is where we bring the pixie together, right? So what I'm going to do here, push everything forward, let it split where it wants to. Seems to be the middle part. So from here, we need to find our guide for the top of the hair, right? How does she want to wear this? Does she want the long bang? Does she want to have something that keeps it out of her face? Does she want a lot of volume? Does she, I mean, there's so many different questions and so many different ways to cut the pixie. Again, we're gonna go with the basic, most popular one here in Texas, which wake up and go, right? First things first, separate your fringe or your bang area, focusing on sections at a time. I always tell my associates, whenever you're doing a haircut and somebody shows you a picture, don't look at the cut as a whole. Look at the sections. What does the bang look like? What does the side look like? What does the top look like? What does the back look like? What does the nape look like? And then just break it down sections, and then you can do any cut in the world, as long as you break it up, right? So I like to start with the bang first so that I can see where the shape is gonna go. Now, if it's just wake up and go, we're gonna go really, really short. I'm gonna blunt cut and point cut. You see, I am pulling down for shape, right? And hair bounces when you let go of it, and it shrinks when it's dry. So you always want to cut longer than you're intending, just in case when you have to cut more. But number two, it's going to shrink. So it looks like I'm pretty much cutting a bang here, doesn't it? Perfect. So from here, where do we want to go with it? Brush everything forward to make sure that I got everything out of the way. So from here, everything forward, section out your mohawk section here. Just get everything out of the way. And now you're going to create your length for your entire cut with your bang. See that? We have our bang here. And if we bring it out here, we cut the 90, we're going to create roundness right up in the front. If we want weight, I'm only going to extend my knuckle out and my finger angle like this. If I want more texture, I would bring it back, right? This is a big no-no in my book unless it's a creative cut, because you're basically disconnecting the front hair, bang area to everything else, and you're going to have it looks like a shelf, right? So I'm gonna pull this out and go straight 90 with it. And from there, we're just gonna walk it back. See, I'm keeping my distance with the cut and understanding how long I want it to be. And here I'm actually going to point that to the top is where this texture is going to be. See that? Now I have my length for the whole cut. Now you can use shears, or if you're a fan of razor cuts like I am, sometimes I will switch on a textured pixie just like this to my Sambia straight razor. What's perfect about this straight razor is it's sturdy, it's bold, it's all metal, it just fits in your hand so perfectly. Now, we cut our length in the front, we brought that length all the way to the back, so now we have a traveling guide, correct? So we need to connect our left and our right side to this cut. So I'll take horizontal sections. Remember, I have my guide in the middle and I need to connect the left and the right. So now I'm going to take horizontal sections and I'm going to elevate them all the way up to match my guide. Now again, if you're a fan of razor cuts, look at that. Beautiful. We're going to work our way back. Make this another piece. I gotta tell you guys, my clients love when I throw hair like this. They're scared at first, but they love it. This creates amazing texture with the Sambia, right? With the Sambia razor. Okay, there's left side. Let's connect the right. Yeah, get some more of the hair. Move back another horizontal section. And you can see I'm not cleanly cutting or sectioning off these sections because we're messing with texture here. This is a very quick and simple cut. You do not have to spend a lot of time on detail work or precision work. As long as we have balance amongst all of the hair, you always want to make sure you're keeping the hair wet when you're cutting so that you can make sure that the shape is always going to remain consistent, right? All right, so now let's take a look at you. It's got some pretty round bangs. Let's clear that up. Now, what's also amazing about this razor, guys, is you can create texture by wherever you want it to be. But you have to be very gentle because the harder you push, the more you're going to cut out. All right, but now I'm focusing on the shape, making sure everything is in line, right upon this bang area. We don't want it to be full. We want texture. So, section out that bang area again. You come in to the right, to the left, create movement within those bangs. See here, I'm coming in just very lightly. Don't want to overdo it or you will create gaps in your cut. And I'm going to repeat this process all around the head. And then remember that part we kept long? We're going to take that off because we don't need it. We survived. Let's blow dry and stop. That is your short textured pixie. All right, blow dry. This is the Sambia Essential Series Invisiblend Shear. It is so great because you can switch the sides of it and it can actually bezel the teeth to make it super, super, super blended. So I'm gonna come up here underneath. I'm just gonna take a lot of that out. And just repeating this process all around the head. This will remove weight, density, to kind of soften out those edges and kind of help them lie down a little bit. So now, if I want to take off a little bit of bulk, I'm going to come back here, go in at a diagonal, because diagonal lines blend. Just if I want to take just a little bit. That's going to make it lighter. That's going to give it a little bit more volume in case she's got really, really dense hair. So now, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my Sambia Artist Series 14 tooth blender. Now what's great about this shears, guys, is it gives you the same kind of look that a point cut would do, but it's just all in one little smooth cut. So watch this. So if I want to break that up, all of that weight, right? So I can see that there. Let me move this a little bit closer. If I want to break all of that up, but I don't want to take out a lot of hair, I just want to add texture, the 14th tooth blender will amazingly, see all that? Take all of that out, just piece by piece. And it breaks all that up. This will help add a lot of texture. Again, you don't want to do a lot of cutting with these because they do take out big chunks of hair. This is strictly for the texture, right? If I'm seeing a lot of just bland flatness, I want to create that texture, right? More and more texture, we love it. Give me the texture. All right, so now we're going to style that. We're all gonna pick the hair out. All right, now the styling products I love to use for any kind of pixie like this is just a good dry texture spray and maybe a good texture paste. What I'm gonna be doing today is a Mika dry texture spray and a Redken rough paste. Again, any dry texture spray will work. I actually prefer Redken's triple dry, but we can't keep it on the shelf, so we can't order it. So, any picture, this is what you're gonna tell your clients in the morning. You wake up, blow dry your hair, dry texture spray. What this dry texture spray does is it really just gives that hair a lot of grit so that it can really have that texture up in there. I don't want to overdo it. I'll switch to this rough paste. And with this, I'm literally going to just create the shape that I want. I'm only going to put this on the pieces that I feel need direction. So there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm Michael Parra with @JustinMichaelParra. And this is my pixie. Peace.